What is going on, guys? It is Dodox here, and welcome back to Thrillventure. Planet Coaster, if you're wondering. It's been a while since we actually played this game. I've been busy. I'm not gonna lie, I've not had time to sit down and play this great game in a while, but we're back. And we are back because, well, look at our money. I mean, at the moment, money is going well. We have, what hell is this queue? Quite a big queue. See what I mean? We only got one ride in the park at the moment, so we're not really getting many guests in. Well, we are 4,000, but happiness could improve, I would say. Otherwise, we're going to have thief problems again. And what way to improve people's happiness? By building a brand new coaster. We've got a lot of money, and I think that's what we're going to do. Now, where are we going to build this beast? Well, we got to think very clearly about Thrillventure. We are a thrilling theme park. Where would we place our next ride? Now, we have our water area over here. Now, I was thinking that this is going to be like the water area. This is the Whispering Waters, where there's a lot of water rides going to be happening. So I will probably stick a rapids around here as well. But what I was thinking, believe it or not, is everyone loves this, is a wooden coaster. But let's get on with today's episode. We're not going to waste around. So, as you know, guys, as I'm going now into a coaster build, we're going to head over to Time-Lapse Will, and he's going to explain all about this new coaster. So, enjoy, guys. Right, so let's get started. So it's time to build the epic wooden coaster that I've been wanting to do. It's been so long since I actually last played this game, and it's crazy that we're finally doing this again. So to start off with, we are going to be building a bit more into the ground. So I've decided we need to remove some trees first, and we need to start leveling out this terrain. That's the first thing we need to do. So use a tool, a little sharpen tool, start really getting this terrain nice and deep and rocky. Because we're going to have like a rocky foundation to start off with, I think. This is looking good so far, I would say. So now that we've got our first little baseline of rocks in place, we can now start adding the more detailed side of it and start adding some rocks in. So just got some basic rocks in. You've probably noticed around the park so far, I've been using a lot of rocks, and it's because I like the rocks in Planet Coaster. They look really nice, and I do like them. So making some nice rocky features now. Yeah, we're not even starting the coaster yet. We're building the terrain first. I've decided to build the terrain first before adding all the coaster and the actual coaster itself. We're gonna have a little pool now, make it a little bit more natural. Obviously, I want to try and make it as natural as possible. It's difficult to do, obviously, because it's man-made this, technically, isn't it? But I think this is starting to look nice. It's starting to take shape a little bit. Let's start adding a couple of lily pads, maybe, to help it out. So now we're going to start working on the track, and I started with a little bank curve downwards. I then make a mistake here and actually go upwards here instead, but I found that that was too hard to do. So instead, to get as much elevation as possible, I decided that it'd be better to go into the upper section where all the trees were, and that is where we will start our lift hill. Then our lift hill will go up as high as I can. I'm trying not to go too high with the park because I feel like too high coasters would look a bit weird for this park considering I'm in the trees and stuff. So I wanted to keep it low ground as possible. That's why digging into the ground was the better solution. So now we're at the top of the lift hill. It was time for that first drop. Now I wanted to do a little bit of a curled drop to start off with, to sort of get into the ride and then bank up at it to get some airtime. You know, those airtime hills are going to be important on a wooden coaster ride, so make sure we get that airtime. So let's just see how it's doing. It's going to come all the way up and then slide down and up. Oh yeah, there's your first airtime hill. That's lovely. Then it was then time to go in, do a little backwards turn and actually go back up again and round. Now, I'm going to be honest, we did have a few problems with this particular ride. The cart getting round. The first section I found was fine. It was, you know, going well. Things were falling off the coaster, which is what you want when you're building the ride. But then, obviously, we struggled to actually get the coaster to start going uphill a little bit later on. But as we got into the first big drop now down into the valley where the rocks are, this is where we did a little backwards turn. And then we kind of did a bit of a helix. I don't know if it's like a helix as such, but And here we are with our first problem. We couldn't get the coaster over the second airtime hill, so we had to do a little few changes, which was to make it a little bit wonky, to just try and get the coaster over the ride, because every attempt that we tried, yeah, the problem with doing a little drop at the start really affects the rest of the coaster, because then you have no real power to get round the track. So it was very difficult to try and get the ride to start moving properly. So a lot of TLC needed here. The first airtime hill is brilliant, by the way. It's the second one where I had to get rid of it, unfortunately, to actually get the coaster around. It eventually did, and we did a few spiral helixes, and then went under the ground a bit here, just a tiny bit, and then kept spiraling, and then went back up here, which was a bit tricky. This was another section that we might have had a problem with in terms of actually getting the coaster up and over. It was a bit of a challenge, this one, to get it right. And then we went for the final drop bit, which goes right on the ground here. This is the one that I really struggled with. But I needed it because I wanted to have an actual big drop somewhere in the ride, and we didn't really have one. And obviously I don't really want to build too high, so we're using the underground instead. And yeah. But obviously we had some very big issues with testing this ride and getting it to work. And actually, you know, but it did get up in the end. We got it there, and then it was then time to move on with it. And then honestly, the last bit was just getting it back to the station, to be honest. This bit was a bit tricky. I was initially gonna just say that was it, that was the ride, but then I thought, you know, I could make this a bit longer. So instead I decided that it would be a better alternative to increase the length of the ride by not going to the station and sort of like going where that little gap is here and extending the ride. This is one of the weirdest bits of this ride, to be honest. It actually makes you go up and down constantly. It's going to feel a very jaggy here, very thrill feel by going pretty slow. And the reason I had to do this is because otherwise the coaster wouldn't actually get over. It would stop and go back. So it was always a bit hard to do this bit. But you think you know the ride's over, wouldn't you? But nah. We're not making no small rides here. We went for another drop down into the valley, across the rocks, and then up again. And of course again, we had problems with getting it up its ladder. Basically, it just really would not want to budge in terms of like the testing here and the constant TLC. It was just a lot. I made it more difficult by adding that smallish drop at the start to try and make that natural feel, but I feel like if I had just added a bigger drop, this wouldn't have been a problem. Yeah, so, and then the final bit was pretty much going over the top of the mountain area, then down into the valley one last time, a couple of helixes to get back up. But then I thought, you know what, fuck it, we're going to need to add a lift hill here, because there's no way this coaster's getting back on its own. So what we do is we build a lift hill up to the top, give it one little drop more down into the water. I was thinking of doing a splashdown, but I don't know if it would work very well. And then up to the station, round through the actual bit of Croc, the Whispering Waters, and then up into the station. And that is actually the end of the actual coaster part of the ride. So now let's go work on the detail. All right, guys, so now that we're back on live view, we've made the coaster, and I've got a name for it already. I'm actually going to call this beast of a coaster Timber Ridge. It's like a ridge. It's in the Rocky Valley. We're gonna be really detailing this up in a minute, but we've got a nice name with Timber Ridge. Now, I'm not too sure what to do here because we're actually losing some money now because a lot has happened. I don't know if you've seen the things pop up, but especially Whispering Waters, it's had some issues. But yeah, I wasn't too sure at the back here, but this last bit here, going in to actually connect up to here, is going to really make this area look a lot nicer. Now, what we're going to first do is tree this area up a little bit. So we're just going to duplicate and give this area a few trees. Careful not to block any of the track, because you can do that dead easy, I've noticed, in this game. Block the track and stuff. But the first thing we're going to do is actually detail the sections up. You know, like the bits that look that don't. We're actually just going to place some rocks in here to actually make this a little bit more rocky. So obviously we use the terrain tool a bit, but we're actually just going to place these rocks in, so it looks like this is entirely rocky instead of this weird, like, bit here. It looks a bit strange the way it is, so I wanted to, you know, place some rocks in and try and sort the issues out if I could without having to use the terrain tool again. And I think I've done a good job there doing that bit. There's going to be some bits that are green, but like I want to try and minimize them as best I can, really. Now, things are breaking down quite a bit, which is not great. By the way, I've not actually checked if the last bit worked. I probably should check that before I carry on with this terrain. It should work, because that's a 14 loop, and then a drop, and then a tiny upward section, and then to finish off at the end. So I think it will be all right, but let's just give this a little check, just to be sure. Oh, actually, I'm not sure, you know. Okay, it just makes it. It just about makes it, which is good, because it makes it nicely into the station. Yeah, okay, good. Right, that's good. Right, let's keep carrying on building the detail any of this bit. I was thinking, so we had a few rocks in. Now, obviously, we've got to be a little bit careful that none of this goes on the track. So, if possible, I definitely would bling this in a bit more so that it's not, you know, impacting the track. That's the last thing we want, really. But I really want to detail this up. I think we can make it look really nice. I think we should use the terrain features a little bit more. Add some smoothness up, maybe with the rocks, actually. So you see around here. No, definitely not that. No, the smooth section probably won't work. Let me turn the intensity down and the height down. We can just smooth out the holes a bit. Also, the tunnels are going to be dark. So much to do. And this is why I've obviously not played in a while. It's a very time-consuming game. It literally eats up a day. So it's very important that we do this correctly. So what's this? Wooden post defense. You know what? Some coast defenses might not be a bad idea. You know, these things here. And what I was thinking of, you know, which is the... Also, I've noticed the majority of this is catwalks. I didn't want that. Unless that's just how it is. Let me just check something. Is track support. No, not all of it is. Right, yeah. So all of it's catwalks. We've got to change some of it. Like, for example, here. You know, the first drop. I don't think we should have catwalk here. Wait. Oh, I see. Wait. Ah, yeah, okay, never mind. Yeah, that's a problem. It doesn't look that great without it. You just end up with... And with most of this actually underground and stuff, it would be very, very unrealistic to actually not put those in. Okay, never mind. That's fine, right. So, guys, we're going to go to our next time lapse now where we detail up this area. And I feel like we can do some good detail into it. I'm also going to make the coast station. And then we will open it to the public. It's exciting. Back to it. It's now time for the detailed part of the ride. So now we've done the ride, we've made sure it works, and now it's now to start building the detail. So what we're going to do is, guys, we're going to start with building a nice little pool below, actually. I really want to get this looking nice. Place some rocks down for nice features everywhere. It's a very rocky theme, as you can see from the video footage here. I was thinking of trees in the center, maybe build one, but I decided against that. More rocks on the side. Yeah, basically rocks and trees has been the Timber Ridge is what we've named the ride. So, you know, lots of rocks, and also not just rocks, right? We gotta do other things as well. We gotta put other sorts of things down. Do a little bit of searching here to see what would actually go really nice with these rocks. And I was, you know, for the animatronics a bit, doing a bit of thinking. This is why I don't want to do live commentary with these sort of things like Warhammer. I can do live commentary because it's not as detailed. But with this game, you've got to really think what you need to do. So I actually end up using some little fans, windmills. These actually look really nice. Actually, they really added to the ride. I think they're basically like events that you can use and actually trigger them, but I'm actually just going to use them as a little bit of detail. Right, time to start adding the trees at the upper section. So this upper section, I didn't want to actually make rocky. I wanted this to be a forest. This was still part of the forest. That's why I only went above the tree line a tiny little bit, because when I added the trees back in, I wanted to make sure that it looked nice, but I wanted to make sure that the forest would remain. So obviously making sure it was not too slanted and stuff, because if it was too slanted, it would have been a problem. Anyway, my favourite part of this ride, by the way, was this feature. So I had this nice little rock section here at the side, and I was thinking, what could I build here that would really capture Timber Ridge? And I went for a waterfall. Now, I tried a few things first to try and make the waterfall look nice. I really couldn't figure out what actually was... So I just messed around with the water tools until I found something pretty good to use on this waterfall. It took a while searching. I actually started with the sprayers. Started building the layout for the waterfall now using these rocks. I think they're just normal black rocks that you can use. Started, you know, smoothing out the terrain a little bit, then making like a little pool area so that there's an actual pool. I like waterfalls in Planet Coaster. It's a shame that you can't really get the water to move like you want it to. You have to use effects and stuff. The water can be a bit jangy. You can end up flooding the entire world if you're not careful. And that, you know, you don't want to do that ever. Water is a non-factor, though, in terms of killing anyone. It's actually see-through, believe it or not, in this game. It's see-through, so you don't actually have any problems when you actually... If you drown guests, they won't actually drown, basically. It's basically just an... It's basically just an image. It's not there, per se. Actually, I can't think of the analogy of what something's there that's not there. I'll have to think about that one. But yeah, guys, I am so sorry that it's took 2 months for this video to come out. You've got to understand, I'm busy, and it's just hard to get this sort of level of detail of content out, because it's a lot harder to make this video than a Warhammer video. A Warhammer video tends to just be me upload it and show you some cool battles, some cool things in the campaign, and then I do the... Well, I've started out in cinematics, so it makes it a little bit longer, but it's not too hard to do. I'm not trying to say it being lazy or anything. I just love Warhammer as well. I play Warhammer so much. So when I start doing detailed stuff like this, I mean, if you want, I can start doing Warhammer in voiceover, but I feel like that would take away from it, because it's sort of like your live reaction with that game. Look, like, this is different. You're basically building something, so you need to show your building off in the best way possible, and I found time-lapse is the best way possible. And yeah, as you can see, the waterfall is starting to come together now. It really is. It's starting to take shape. It's starting to look kinda like a waterfall. Take a little bit of tweaking, and obviously, you know, this is going to cost money, so we're going to be losing money quite a bit here, I'd say. Quite a bit of money is going to be lost for this project, but it's going to be hella worth, because it's going to look so cool while you're on the ride, going past the waterfall. I was thinking about maybe going in the waterfall, but then I decided against it. I didn't see if it would work properly with it being... I mean, it might actually. I might have to alter the ride and maybe build build the coaster through the waterfall. But that'll be a lot of effort and a lot of dedication to doing that. Plus, I'm pretty sure I'm out of the boundary, because for some reason on this map, about 3 meters from the edge, you can't actually place stuff there. It won't let you for some reason, so I'm not really too sure what's going on there. But we're adding some little lily pads at the bottom here to make it look a little bit more fresh. So after the waterfalls, it was time to go back to the rock sections of it and start really rocking this place down. It doesn't sound really right, does it? Putting more rocks down. Also starting to paint stuff as well, so it's a bit more rocky. The thing is, I want this to be like... I don't know why I call it... Timber Ridge just seems like a really cool name. I don't know why, it just does. And I think this is working out really well with all the rocks. And with the waterfall now there, it's starting to just really, really take shape. But yeah, also, I was thinking also, what else could I add as well as rocks? You know, we are just building with rocks and water so far. And a few lily pads and trees. But maybe there's something else we could add to the equation here. You know, something that really would pop out. And I went for this because I feel like I just sort of did it at the time. And I actually went for animatronic snakes. I don't know why, I just went for snakes. I guess snakes live in rocky areas as well as plants and everything. Do they live in rocky areas? Might have to do my research on that one. I just went for snakes in the end, and basically, yeah, they kind of look nice. I also did a few other things, like trying to make a rocky tunnel. That failed. But the general aspect of this ride, as you can see, is rocks, but I'm making it very detailed, and I'm not missing places, so it really is going to feel so nice when you go around this coaster. You're going to feel like you're in a rocky mountain, which is what I kind of wanted to go for with this particular ride. But yeah, so I just went with the snakes, and yeah, I also added like swarmy snakes as well. I was just trying to, I don't know, I went a little bit mad with the snakes. I feel like I went a little bit mad with the snakes. I also did a few POVs of me seeing if the snake would hit me on the way past. I don't know, I was doing some. This is how I was laughing about it, because I said, snakes, why snakes? I was like, it's snakes, what can I say? And then some weird like rocky formations as well. All right guys, so after this time lapse, you can see, look at the most absolute amazing creation I have made so far. Welcome to Timber Ridge. This is going to be the ride that will be our wooden coaster in the park, and it's our rocky area, valley area basically. So I've gone for the water rocky valley theme with a nice waterfall there. It's looking pretty nice. It's still not finished, but I wanted to show you a midsection of what we've done so far. We're pretty much going to be doing pretty much most of the same now, with obviously around here and stuff. We got to be careful not to add too many rocks though, because it would look very weird. Like this bit here doesn't seem like we could add rock. We'll have to it's a bit more foresty around here, but I've got an idea what to do around here. But obviously, what I have noticed, it's not really a plaza area around this area. You've not really got a way in dead easily, really. So we're gonna have to make a bridge somewhere. So what we could do is, you see this gap here? We could make a pathway that we went all the way down here and crossed over this bit, so we go over the flume and then over to the area, and we'd have to stick the plaza, we'd have to go here, wouldn't it? We'd have to remove these trees, and then the plaza could be, yeah, that would be cool actually. We could add like a little plaza. So what we're going to do then is delete these, oh careful we don't delete the track, is delete these trees, because I think like this could be a nice little area for some shops just in between the two coasters. I think these could be nice little plaza area here. So that's what we're gonna do now, guys. We're gonna leave the coaster for a bit and set up the new area for the public and the queue line. And then, guys, so what do you guys think? Back here looking around, I've made a little plaza. They've got a little toilet section there. I don't think you could fit a shop here. I think it just needed a toilet so that when you get off the ride, they're ready to go. The queue goes down into the waterfall, past a little bit of trees, down through the wooden section here. I think we actually need to fix a few rocks and stuff around, but mostly it should be all right. I'm not too sure what happened with the path here, but yeah. Then it comes down here, so we have to get rid of this tree and this tree. You know, we got to obviously make it so they can actually walk across it. For some reason in Planet Coaster, collision isn't a thing until it is, and then it gets really annoying. But yeah, Timber Ridge is almost operational. It's ready to go. We've tested it. We've got the excitement levels. We've got the green. I'm kind of interested to see how this does, how it performs, because I think people are very excited to try this thing. I'm very interested to see what happens as soon as I open this, by the way, because you know it's going to happen straight away. So let's get into it. Time to open the ride. Timber Ridge is now open. The station is still not built, but other than that, it really is ready to go. We do need to fix the queue problem. That shouldn't be too hard, I don't think, because we have a waterfall literally next to us, and I think vines would fix it, so we could just get a few vines. I think that would work, like some wall climber stuff, you know. Make sure it's aligned to surface, and then we can just add this to the waterfall, and I think it will improve things tenfold, really. Yeah, so sort of just like along here. Also, free real estate, add some lights to the queue path as well. So just go to path extras, and then I think it's lights, and then you can just add like a path light of some kind. Like these torches can be nice across like the walls and stuff, but Probably not the best light to use here. Fiery. Oh, yeah, you know what? That looks cool, actually. The little fire things on each side, and we can just place them on the actual queue line themselves. And it should improve. Oh, God. If you line it up perfectly, it should look pretty nice for a queue line. So, yeah, definitely add these. So just add some little fire line things. It also improves the scenery. Obviously get rid of trees that are just in the way. We don't want that on the pathway. It does decrease the queue, but yeah, look, as you can see. Oh, what? Oh no, are they actually not? Oh shit, right. It's not just quite as simple as that. There's still a little gap for some reason. So, right, Timber Ridge is open for business. So I feel like this is what we've got going for this episode. A really nice coaster with some nice features, and obviously there is going to be a TLC episode at some point where I go around and fix a lot of things with the park, and we will get around to one of them episodes eventually. But it was nice to get a second coaster in the park, an actual wooden coaster. They're very popular, so that's good. Next episode, guys, I think we're going to work on our finances a bit. Maybe we can add a few more shops and make a nice plaza. Maybe here? Maybe? Would probably have to wall off this entrance here where they're entering. But yeah, other than that, guys, it's been an absolutely fantastic episode. Thank you so much for watching. If you did enjoy, never forget to like, rate, make sure to subscribe. And I'll see you guys on the next episode where we're going to be building some more stuff. You have to bear with me with Planet Coaster. I have to be in the mood to play it, and I have to have the time to do it. So yeah. But when an episode drops, there'll be content. See you later.